First of all, I want to commend the governor for doing an incredible job and laying out, the most honest of budgets and doing what California would expect of its governor, which is to reach across party lines and to try to forge a consensus. Unfortunately, it appears, and I direct this comment not to the three who were at least willing to stick their necks out and continue to work throughout the weekend, but to the party as a Republican Party as a whole. They appear to want to be irrelevant, and they seem intent on achieving that objective. And that is unfortunate. When you step back and you look at the big picture here, this is a huge deficit caused by California's own structural problem in addition to the worldwide economic recession. The only civil way to solve this is to cut and to extend existing revenue. We stepped up $14 billion. At a minimum, you would think that the minority party would grant people the opportunity to determine whether they want to avoid deeper cuts or extend existing taxes for 5 years. And they failed. And, disappointing. You look at their list here. This unbelievable list of 53 things, including restoring funding for the state fairs, obviously putting corporate tax breaks ahead of kids and putting developer subsidies ahead of public safety. And then you look at all these little things that they have on here. The only thing missing from this list is a pony. And we'd give them a pony if they gave the people the opportunity to cast a vote. So where do we go from here? We're going to, take stock of where we are. I'm usually glass half full, and certainly it's March the 29th. And we have made a $14 billion dent in the 2011-12 budget deficit. And we have more work to do, and we will get at it. We will use the power of our majority. We will use the power of our majority to begin aggressively pursuing a different path. And I don't want to get into detail yet about what all that may encompass, but I just want to say to you that I think the governor in some ways learned what we've experienced in this legislature over the past decade or so, and that is there is a political party which is increasingly on the fringe of California politics, which is ruled by radio talk show hosts, bloggers, and they govern out of fear, and that they are unwilling to do the basics of governance. And again, I want to lightly commend, the three Republicans who at least were willing to give it a real shot here. We hope we can continue some discussions with them and even the couple of others who signed the original letter. I think that there were 5 in total. At least they were willing to engage in a conversation. The party itself, they don't reflect the majority opinion of Californians. They certainly don't reflect the values of Californians, which says let's build and keep a strong public education system, and let's make sure we don't defund public safety and law enforcement, and that needs to be made clear. Questions?
Does that mean that you're going to try to get the Republicans to vote straight up to taxes without going to election?
I think that's an option, certainly, but I don't see how. Where is there any evidence that they're willing to govern in a balanced way? I don't see it.
How about a majority vote election? Are you still going to pursue that?
Not for June. I think they've done a pretty good job of running out the clock here, and I think Senator Dutton's list of 53. Think about this. You start a negotiation with large demands. That's part of the art of negotiation. You aim high. As the months go on, you narrow the differences. Instead, the Friday before what is today an arguable deadline here. You get a list of 53 things, including financing, refunding state fairs. That's what we're fighting about, in addition to all of the other major issues. So, you know, I think the people can accurately assess where this stands. We have a job to do, and we'll do it. We've dealt with $14 billion of deficit. We'll deal with the rest of it.
Are you still pursuing an election?
Other than the cuts, what power? You actually the power of the majority. That's what you have.
Well, there's been a lot of things talked about. We have the power of signature initiative, albeit not in time for July 1. And you know, we're going to consider every option, and we're going to stand up for school kids and teachers and education and higher education and public safety. So what we're going to do, and we've gotten through terrible deficit numbers before. We'll get through this, and you know, we're going to take, I think the governor's right on when he says in his statement that he's going to begin taking his case even more directly to the people, and we intend to do the same, and we intend to use our floor and our majority power to begin influencing this debate as well. I got to go.
Will there be an election?
Was it more that you ran out of time, or you looked at the list and said this isn't doable?
It's not doable when they put corporate tax breaks ahead of another $1 billion of cuts to public education. It's not doable when they take redevelopment, which is a subsidy for private sector developers, and put that ahead of public safety. It's not doable when they take enterprise zones, which is replete with flaws, to put it nicely, and you protect that above higher education or public education. That's what's not doable. You take $4 billion of the solution off the table, you run the clock down in the way that they did, you load up a huge pile of demands, including stuff that's completely unrelated to the budget, and you expect that the people who represent the vast majority of Californians are going to crawl towards them and say, okay. Well, we recognize how much is at stake here, and we vow to protect the things that matter to the people of California. But, you know, at some point, and we've reached that point, it's plain unreasonable, and it does not reflect the vast majority of Californians. Okay? Thanks. Gotta go.
Thank you.